Ever walked away from a conversation feeling that something was off, even though nothing rude was actually said? That's because dislike rarely announces itself openly. Very few people will tell you they don't enjoy your presence. Instead, they hide it behind politeness, short replies, or subtle changes in behavior. And the confusing part is that these signs are easy to dismiss because they don't look dramatic. They happen in everyday moments: a delayed message, a forced smile, a strange silence. Human beings are surprisingly good at hiding their emotions, but they are not perfect. Small cracks usually appear, and once you know what to look for, certain interactions begin to make a lot more sense. So here are 7 signs that someone may secretly dislike you, even if they never admit it. The first sign is inconsistency. Around other people, they seem warm, relaxed, and engaged. But whenever you're involved, something changes. Their energy becomes flatter. Their responses become shorter. They may still be polite, but the enthusiasm disappears. This difference is important because emotions often reveal themselves through contrast. We notice it when someone acts one way with everyone else and another way with us. And if you've experienced something similar, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. These conversations aren't about creating paranoia. They're about understanding the emotional signals people often miss, because paying attention to patterns is very different from assuming the worst. The second sign is that they rarely show curiosity about your life. People naturally ask questions when they enjoy someone's company. They want to know what happened, how things are going, or what you've been working on. But hidden dislike often creates emotional distance. Conversations become one-sided. You ask questions, but very few come back. They listen just enough to be polite, then quickly shift the focus somewhere else. It doesn't necessarily mean they hate you, but interest and emotional investment are closely connected. When someone consistently avoids learning more about you, that lack of curiosity can say more than words ever could. The third sign is subtle irritation over things that other people easily overlook. Maybe you tell a joke and they seem annoyed. Maybe you make a harmless comment and they respond with unusual coldness. Small mistakes receive bigger reactions than they deserve. This happens because emotions influence interpretation. When someone already has negative feelings toward another person, ordinary behaviors can start feeling more annoying than they actually are. Meanwhile, identical actions from someone they like are quickly forgiven. We all do this to some degree. That's why emotional bias often changes how people judge the exact same situation. The fourth sign is the absence of support. People don't have to agree with everything you do, but when someone secretly dislikes you, they often remain strangely silent whenever good things happen in your life. You share exciting news and receive a dry response. You accomplish something meaningful, and the conversation quickly moves on. There is no visible happiness, no curiosity, and no encouragement. Sometimes jealousy plays a role, but sometimes emotional distance alone is enough. Genuine support doesn't always require grand gestures. Often it appears through simple things like interest, enthusiasm, and a willingness to celebrate another person's success. The fifth sign is that they frequently minimize your experiences. Maybe you're excited about something and they immediately point out the negatives. Perhaps you mention a problem and they dismiss it as unimportant. Instead of making you feel understood, interactions leave you feeling smaller. Healthy relationships create emotional safety. Even disagreements can happen respectfully, but when dislike exists beneath the surface, empathy often decreases. The other person may not attack you directly, yet their responses slowly communicate that your feelings opinions, or achievements deserve less attention. Over time, these little moments become emotionally exhausting. The sixth sign appears through body language. People can control their words, but physical behavior often reveals more than they intend. They avoid eye contact. Their smiles disappear quickly. They angle their bodies away from you or seem impatient during conversations. None of these signals should be judged in isolation, because stress, anxiety, or personality differences can create similar behaviors. That's why context matters. Psychology becomes dangerous when we treat single moments as absolute proof. What matters is repetition. One awkward interaction means very little. A consistent pattern across many situations tells a much clearer story. The seventh sign is that you always feel like you're the one maintaining the connection. You're the person starting conversations, sending messages, making plans, and keeping things alive. Without your effort, the relationship seems to disappear. This can happen for many reasons. People become busy, life changes, priorities shift. But when the imbalance lasts for a long time, it deserves attention. Relationships are rarely perfect, yet healthy connections involve mutual investment. You shouldn't feel like you're constantly trying to convince someone to enjoy your company. Genuine relationships may require effort, but they should not feel like endless persuasion. Of course, there's something important to remember. These signs are not mind-reading tools. Human behavior is complicated. Stress, insecurity, anxiety, depression, exhaustion, or personal struggles can make people seem distant even when they care deeply. That's why jumping to conclusions is rarely wise. Instead of focusing on isolated incidents, look for patterns and trust how interactions consistently make you feel. Sometimes the issue has nothing to do with you, and sometimes the uncomfortable feeling you're experiencing is pointing toward a truth you've been avoiding. Emotional awareness isn't about becoming suspicious. It's about seeing reality more clearly and protecting your peace without creating unnecessary drama. One of the most valuable lessons in life is realizing that not everyone has to like you, and you don't have to chase approval from people who are emotionally unavailable. The right relationships rarely leave you constantly questioning where you stand. They bring clarity, respect, and a sense of ease. And perhaps that's a better use of your energy than trying to win over people who have already made up their minds. Take care. I'll see you in the next video. And if this reflection resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Feel free to leave a comment, give the video a like, and share it with someone who might appreciate the conversation. See you in the next one.